Hello everyone, thank you for joining me in today's video, and today I wanted to discuss what it's like telling your parents about your mental illness, coming out about your mental illness, your parents finding out about your mental illness, and my personal story with that. So let's just go ahead and get into it. When I was 14 is when I first went to a psychiatrist, and my parents were pretty freaking angry about the situation. They did not like that their daughter was acting out. At least that's what they called it. They didn't think of it as a mental illness, but they just thought that I was acting out. So their response was very negative. Never was a pleasant experience going to the psychiatrist and going to my therapist that I had back then as well. I had some very bad therapists when I was younger. So it was never a pleasant experience. And I was doing like various drugs and shoplifting and doing things like that when I was younger. So my parents just thought that I was acting out and I needed to go to somebody to be treated for that, and then it would all go away and I would be cured. And it was just teenage angst basically that needed to be temporarily treated, is how they thought of it then. So fast forward quite a few years later till my very first video, I touched on this, but I'm going to touch on it again, and that is how my parents found out that I was schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type. And how they found that out was I was in the mental hospital, and my parents ended up coming to the mental hospital. They found out that I was there because my father was my emergency contact for my work, and my work had called him saying that I haven't shown up to work in a few days. We need to fill out some paperwork. Is there anything that you can tell us? And my dad, of course, had no idea, so he called the person that I was with at the time, and he ended up telling him where I was, what hospital I was at, and they showed up at the hospital, and they had no idea that any of this was going on. Like, they thought that I was perfectly healthy. And I tried to explain to them that, I wasn't doing well, and I've been diagnosed with, I think I was just diagnosed as bipolar disorder at this hospital. I think it was the hospital after that where I was diagnosed as schizoaffective disorder. But anyway, so what happened was when they came, my social worker and my parents and I went into a room and we had a big long discussion about what bipolar is, what it isn't, and how it affects me, how it affects anyone really, and that it is a completely real illness. It's not just sadness like a lot of people think, or for bipolar, for example, they think it's just sad and happy, or for depression, they think it's just sadness, but they don't understand that there's more to it than that. So the social worker helped me talk to my parents about how all of those myths were false, and this is what it really is, and these are the facts, and there's medications that'll help you get better, and there's therapy, etc. But that's how my parents came to hear that I was diagnosed for the second time. The first time I was diagnosed as just having depression when I was a teenager. Um, so, and then I don't think they thought that was any much of a real diagnosis. Like I said, they just thought it was teenage angst. They didn't really understand that depression is just as serious as bipolar is, or schizoaffective. But anyway, so they were confused, but after my second hospitalization, when I got my schizoaffective diagnosis, I had a really good doctor a really good psychiatrist, and my parents would actually go to a lot of those psychiatrist appointments with my doctor, and they still do occasionally go to appointments with me to my psychiatrist appointments. And I think that really helps because, for one thing, my psychiatrist always refers to it as an illness, which it is. It's not just a character flaw or a temporary disease that's going to get fixed. He always refers to it as an illness, which is what it is, an ongoing illness that's not going to go away. So that maybe helps a little bit. I don't know if they see it that way, but I see that as good wording. They are supportive now. My dad still thinks that I shouldn't be on all this medication that I'm on because of long-term effects. Like, I don't know if like heart disease or liver disease or kidney disease, whatever, I don't know. He's claimed to have researched that atypical antipsychotics cause long-term health effects. So, I don't know, but I mean, I have to be on them. Like, if I'm not on them, then I'm just going to be a complete mess, and I'm not going to be able to function at all. So, I mean, I don't know why I'm telling you guys that, because you guys know that, but a lot of parents do not understand that. And I think what you really have to do to educate your parents is first find some good literature on the subject, whether you have a textbook or a book or a memoir or something about whatever the disorder may be, whether it's depression or bipolar or schizophrenia or borderline personality disorder or anxiety, any illness that you have, give them that book, read the book yourself, and then say, hey, mom or dad, here's a book that really explains my condition pretty well. This is the account from another person, and there's a lot of similarities, and I'd like you to read it and kind of see what my disorder is all about through this other person's experience. And that's one way to do it. As far as getting them good, like, professional, sorry, my cat's an asshole. As far as getting them more statistics and facts about the illness, go to, like, NAMI's website is really good. There's some other mental health, like, databases out there that you can just Google and find, and they have really good, like, facts about the mental illness, the prognosis of it, and treatments and all that. So go out to the internet and do your research and give those resources to your parents. Give them some reading material, and hopefully that'll help them better understand. And if you can, I think this is probably the best way to really kind of get it through their head that your illness is real, is take them with you to a therapy appointment or a psychiatrist appointment, and your therapist or your psychiatrist can help explain to them more about the illness and answer any questions that they have for them, and that way they get more of a thorough, they get something from a mental health professional, which I think really helps, because you can give them all this information, but they're not going to necessarily think that it's legitimate information. They may think that it's just opinions, and they may very well think that your psychiatrist is just an opinionated person as well, and may not take his word for truth either. But I think that that is a good way to do it, regardless, a good thing to try, because it really did help my parents having that social worker in the room kind of talk about bipolar disorder, and then later having my psychiatrist talk about schizoaffective disorder to them was really helpful, and I think it's made them more supportive. So, I mean, they're still not all the way there. I still think that they don't necessarily understand that it is a lifelong illness, just like somebody who has diabetes or somebody who has heart disease or any other physical condition that doesn't go away, that there's not a cure for. It's the same thing as that. And I still don't think they want to believe that. I still think that because psychiatric medication isn't as sophisticated as physical medication, then they're like, well, this is kind of a load of crap. I don't really know if you should be on this, but I know you still have issues, so yeah, I guess go ahead and take it, but I don't know about this for the long term. So that's kind of where they're at right now, and hopefully medication, there will be more research going into medication and more research going into the brain, and hopefully some more hard, solid medication or evidence into the disorders will come out, and hopefully that will get parents to see that a mental illness is just the same as a physical illness. So yeah. So that is my experience, and those are my kind of tips to you guys on what to do to come out to your parents about your illness. I don't recommend your parents finding out about it until you're up in the mental hospital. That really wasn't the best thing to do because that was a huge shock for them. But doing it, taking them to a therapy appointment or taking them to a doctor's appointment, I think that would be a really good start into doing it. So I definitely recommend that. So anyways, that's all I have to say for that topic. I hope it has helped you guys some. If there's anything you'd like to contribute or any advice that you have, please leave it in the comments below. Everybody here, help each other out. That's what this channel is for us to all help each other. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe to me if you have not yet already. And I will see you all in my next video. Thanks. Bye, guys.